Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the layered convo I had with Megan Lenny.
Oh, yeah.
In our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that interview, feel free to pause this now, go back and listen to that one, and then come back and join us. Y'all, it was a good one. By the way, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's really funny to be thinking about the new year and be recording this in the old year, but I feel like it's going to be a great freaking year. So I'm stoked about it.
Yeah, it's definitely feeling more prepared at the end of this year than I don't remember.
We never were organized at the end of the year.
Yeah, I always remember things being like absolute crazy town at our, running around trying to get things done before we go on our trip or whatever it's going to be. And this year definitely has a different vibe.
You know, when people are like running through the airport in Home Alone and they're like running, it's like, that's how it felt every freaking December. And we stopped flying and it still didn't make it less. So
no, I think 2020, we still had a bunch of travel at the beginning of the year, and it sets you down a different path. And this year was, I think, since I was, 18, I think this might be the first solid year of sitting in one place and being on the goal. I mean, we did do a little bit of travel, but not like international trips and prepping for workshops.
I mean, we did do two international trips. However, they were
It wasn't like we had to plan a retreat and host 20 people and like something that will take you. Planning those things takes me off of my focus for weeks at a time. Yeah,
what you don't see behind the doors, behind the scenes of planning a retreat together is like it is not even just the amount of time it is to be on the retreat. It is a couple of the things are years in the making, and some of the things are months in the making, and then there's like a lot of hurry up and wait. Yeah. And it's true. Like in
2021, yes, we did do a couple trips, but we were invited as guests or we were just showing up to participate. Yeah. It wasn't like we were running the show.
I got to be honest, I feel very spoiled.
Right. Yeah.
So, we are definitely, time will tell, but I think we're going to have a balance of things. And I think I'm excited for us to announce and explore what we're doing more in the travel arena. But
oh man, I cannot wait to go back to Cambodia and host another retreat there.
We're really close, y'all, on that.
Itching to go.
We definitely just have one little thing we have to figure out so we can actually put something on the books. And but that is not the announcement I was excited to tell you about. So let me just tell you.
Happy New Year.
January is a big month. It's my birthday month.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! You can tell me happy birthday every freaking day. It will not bother me. I do love my birthday. It is so fun. But also this month, we have our 6th agency mini. So we do it at the end of January. And you can sign up for that at profitablepilates.com/mini. It is our 7-day coaching program for fitness and professionals. That means Pilates instructors, you and your yoga friends and trainers too. And also we are finally going to be able to release our scheduling tool.
This is like, I'm very excited about this.
Brad is so excited about this. And so it is.
Yo, we've been working behind the scenes with another company.
Yeah.
A software company who are working with us to make a custom build of their app.
Yeah.
And we get to, doctor it up with a whole bunch of coaching stuff, fitness business coaching stuff, which obviously that's what we do. Mm-hmm. And
like legal stuff. It's going to be freaking awesome. I can't wait for it to be out there for you to see and get your hands on. But
if you're running a business of any kind, you could be literally walking a dog, or you could be, running a Pilates studio with a full team and 50 clients. This is a tool. This is a scheduling software, invoicing software, client management software that you can use where we are also able to provide coaching and then some legal contract templates for you as well.
Yeah.
So very exciting.
Yeah.
Coming up in just a few weeks.
Yeah. You can get on the wait list for that at profitablepilates.com/scheduling.
Yeah, scheduling.
The notes are not in front of me. So that was that, but I'm really excited about that.
So profitablepilates.com/scheduling.
Yeah. Okay. So we had an audience question. This came from last week's episode where we actually announced that the mini doors were open.
Right. Yeah. The question was from a new teacher, and they said, "Hey, I'm brand new. Is it too early for me to be jumping into mini or into agency?"
Yeah. Well, I think as long as you've done your training or you're finishing up, we definitely have a lot of people who have joined us who are still in their training. It's never too early to have really awesome coaching and direction on growing your business, because let me just tell you, why would you want to wander around throwing things at the wall when you could actually have someone going, is that what you want to do? I know that sounds really good, but remember when you said you want to do this, so you know, those two things don't actually stay in the same room, but that's also okay. And we don't tell, as coaches, we will never tell you that's wrong or not going to work, but we definitely are going to be honest with you. And so that's why I wrote my book, was so that people would actually hear the coaching advice before they went out and did stuff, before they went 6 months up the wrong road and doing what everyone else is doing because they thought that's what they should be doing, or charging rates based on the going rate in the neighborhood. No, it's never too early. As long as you are already in your training, that's a great start. If you're about to start your training, it might feel a lot more overwhelming because you're in the middle of a training and you're doing coaching advice. So I'm going to say, finishing up a training you have the light at the end of the tunnel is a great time to start. Or if you just finished, that's really great. And we absolutely can coach you. Plus, you're going to see so much inspiration of what could be. I mean, we have people that we coach who've been doing this for 20 years, and what they're able to do now in their business because of our coaching is absolutely inspirational. It shows you possibility. So I would love to see you in there. It's
the next layer of their business.
We're just layering it in here. Oh my God.
So I couldn't agree with you more. It's never too soon to get coaching. In fact, I would say not only should you go get coaching, but forever, for the rest of your career, you should have some kind of a coach or mentor or some kind of a person that you are willing to share your path with and kick the ideas around, whether the successes and the failures, and to reflect on them. There is so much value in taking a look at what we're specifically doing right now and what we're planning to do, and then getting another opinion on it. Whether that solidifies your own or you actually get some great advice from them, it helps you form that opinion even more and more solidly, help you execute it better. There's so much value in it.
Well, and just so you all know, Brad and I have had coaches for years. We've since 2017, I started working with coaches on different things, and in 2020, to combine, we had 3 coaches. We just leveled up with another coach. I'm really freaking excited about it. And what's so great about that is because we are investing in our coaching, our coaches, none of the coaches we've hired have no coach. They all have their own coaches who are the next level up. You're getting you're getting a lot. It's not just the old stuff that we pulled out of a hat from 5 years ago. It's new stuff. It's what's working now in other companies. We know things. We have behind the scenes stuff. And so, if you're wanting people to invest in you, in your fitness business, you have to be investing in your fitness business.
I think the only time that I didn't have coaching was when I was an employee only.
Right. Because
when I was not running, or trying to run a project or run a business that
right, that makes total sense, because in theory you're getting paid to do someone else's goal, so if they should be coaching you.
Right, but coaching can also take the shape of counseling or
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah. Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
so-
All those things, as we know.
Yep.
Therapy is like laundry. Do it often.
You just got to keep doing it.
Yeah, keep doing it.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
That's not what I meant. It is. But okay. Now let's talk about Megan Linney. Through finding the gaps in the beauty and wellness industry, Megan Linney is a licensed esthetician, massage therapist, and spa executive who created the Layer Lounge. She spends her days making friends and creating a community of people comfortable to trust her with their self-care. And she's pulling from years of working in the spa world. And she made a whole career out of that. She was running high-end spas. She was opening spas. She was managing spas all around the country. And she realized at the end of her last employed experience that this is probably the last time that I'm going to work for someone else. It's time for me to go do my own thing.
Yeah.
And then I loved that the conversation kind of took this turn of like, I had done my own thing before. I just kind of forgot about, the life of being an entrepreneur.
Because the audience is mostly women, and I'm sure a few great men. I even think those few great men have women in their lives. It is amazing how many women forget about the pain of pregnancy. And I would never have equated entrepreneurship to that in any way. But I loved how she brought that up. And she's like, it's like women, they forget pain. And it's a special thing. And then they have 6 kids because they forgot that it freaking sucked. And I think it's true. Like, as someone, I've been working for myself since 2009, but like especially in 2016 when I fully went for myself, as we make changes, it's like you forget. It's almost like I only remember the good stuff of a launch. I don't always remember all the bad things that happen. Like obviously we make changes and we try not to make those mistakes again.
Yeah.
But like we never go up. We have to launch again. Here we go.
Darn.
Because we like block out the amount of hours and weeks and days and preps.
Well, I do laugh about how intense Mini is for us, like the amount of effort that we're putting in.
Yeah.
But I never remember that. I'm like, oh, cool, we get to do this again.
I know.
And then it comes up and I'm like, oh, right. Like I got to spend like 6 hours a day in a Facebook group.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, okay. So out of the things that that she brought up that I loved was listening to the concerns and gaps in your industry to create something new. So we talked a little about this with even Taylor Smith. It's like, what are the questions you keep asking? Like that's probably our next thing. But what Megan did, what we've done in all of our companies is like, where is the hole? Like, where are people falling through? Because there's these amazing opportunities out there. There's amazing products. There's amazing spas out there, but there are people who don't have access to that. And she, or that the way that they exist is not exactly going to solve the problems or the needs of the people. And so that's even how we created OPC. It's like, there's a ton of people out there who would like the convenience of an on-demand platform, but they really love some things, but in person, and how can we do that? And so I just think that if you are out there trying to figure out something new,
Well, look, I think also take a step back and look at your industry as if you weren't in your industry, right? Because what she said is, in the spa world, you walk into a spa, someone steps out of the room, and then you get naked. And then you lay on a table. And that's not normal.
Right.
But in the spa world, that's what they do. So like you don't think anything about it. And she said, what if they didn't have to do that? Would that allow some other people to access this and feel more comfortable about participating in it? Mm-hmm. Right? So it's funny. We just like get in the world of this and we just, like this is just the way it is in our thing. Well, and she's like, well, what if it doesn't have to be? Well, so that's another way to look at, the gap. And
also like, I think a lot of people think I have to create something that's never been done before. But the reality is actually where all the money is. And like, we have a lot of friends who are entrepreneurs who get to see this. Creating something unique within a market that already exists is going to be there's a reason why there's a million freaking beers out there. So Lori Harder Lori and Chris Harder were coaches of ours years ago. And I got to be in the same room as she was coming up with this idea, this drink that she wanted to make. And she is making a beverage. There's a sparkling rosé. And then there's also a non-alcoholic one, because she's like, I want to hang out with my girlfriends. And sometimes I don't want something heavy and I don't want something high calorie. And she's like, I feel like there's no drink beverage out there that is making it easy for women who want to have some fun with their girlfriends, but don't want to wake up the next day regretting that fun, or for the women who don't drink, but they want to feel like they're having the same beverage, they could be at the same environment, the same things. And so, so she's
not reinventing the wheel of making a drink. But she's making a variation or a differentiator on that drink. By identifying like, well, when I'm doing this thing, this is my struggle. This is where I'm missing, I wish there was X.
So I think that like you might be going around going, I have to create something so different. No, like Brad said, like take a look outside and like ask questions that someone who doesn't understand would ask. And then what are the questions you keep getting asked, or what are the frustrations you keep hearing, and then create that. And it's really cool. I got to be honest. It's scary. When we were making our thing, I definitely was worried, like, who's going to buy this? And of course I got the questions about people wanting the thing that we weren't offering. And I had to be okay with being like, I'm not offering the thing that you want. And that's okay, right? And for Megan, like if you do want the 3-hour spa experience with the champagne and the robes and the whole thing, those places do exist, and you can go there. But you're also very welcome at the Layer Lounge. Okay. Yeah. What did you love that she said?
So I kind of already hinted at it, but entrepreneurial resilience. She was like, wow, I didn't remember. I thank you, Gaia. I love you too. I didn't remember all of the the trials and the long hours and all the things, of running your own business, like she had experienced before, until she was back in it. And then she was like, oh, right. Yeah. I don't really get to take weekends off, until get paid. I don't even get to get paid until it's like actually, moving forward, when you can replace yourself in that kind of a thing. And I think that one of having now started, dozens of companies over the past, almost 20 years, one of the hardest thing to deal with as an entrepreneur is when you miss the mark. Yeah. And, whatever that might be, whether you didn't open the doors on the day that you had planned, or whether you had created a product that didn't sell, or whatever, you made a mistake. I mean, any of those kinds of things. When you are in an employment scenario, presumably you have someone holding you accountable to this kind of stuff, and there's some kind of a ramification and whatever that might be that will keep you accountable. When you're an entrepreneur, it's you, right? Yeah. Or maybe you have a partner, but when you are going through this kind of hopefully you have a manager or a boss, if you're an employee, who will sit down and have a tough conversation with you and then show you where you went wrong or what you could be doing better or whatever, and encouraging you and helping you then go and do this again and get you through to become better at what it is you're doing. When you're an entrepreneur, you don't necessarily have that unless you get coaching, by the way. Yeah. But you don't necessarily have that all the time. And it's hard to go wow, that sucked. How can we do it better, or how can we move forward and whatever the thing might be to make it better? Yeah. It's hard to have that objective perspective, and that's where that resilience comes in. Is that entrepreneurial resilience? And exactly.
I think we have gotten better at going, okay, that didn't go to plan, and not taking it personally, which is another thing. But
that's a huge part of it.
Especially because for us, all of these businesses have my freaking face on them. And it's hard not to take it personally. And people are like, no, I don't want that. It's oh.
Oh, sure.
But it's not me. You don't want that business, and that's okay. But like, you have to, whatever you're doing, even if it's a personal brand or a product brand, it is important that you have that entrepreneurial resilience and that you can't take it personally, because it's not personal. It's not personal. It could be that they don't trust themselves to do the thing that you're offering. And so it's not personal at all. They're just saying, that's not going to work for me. And that's because they know themselves enough to know, I don't follow through with those kinds of things. And that's okay.
This circles back to Megan with the gap in the industry that she's filling, where it's a spa experience that you can come in on your lunch break and and enjoy. And that might not be for everyone. Right. So, but that's her innovative idea. And she has created a really fun space to be in. And the experience that you get is a spa experience for your face, but maybe not the experience of like Lesley mentioned, the champagne and like, all that kind of stuff. And if someone rejects that, saying, no, I want that big thing, like Megan's not going to take that personally, because she knows who she's for.
Yeah.
And so she can say, okay, it's fine. This is not for you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. And that's, but you're totally right. Taking it personally, beating yourself up too, that resilience, moving the ball forward without, hanging yourself out to dry.
I think it's a reps game, it would be, I think it'd be a very rare human that in the beginning of your business, you didn't take it personally. Like, it's going to be hard, or at least on a bad day. So it's okay if you've taken some things personally. I want you to know that. Where what happens is, the more you put yourself out there, the more you market your business, the more you do that, the more you realize, Brett has a course on this called 200 No's, the more you realize it's a numbers game. Like Megan has said, it's a numbers game. And so really, you're going to get rejected way more often than people are going to say yes to you. And for most businesses, that's actually okay. When I was teaching Pilates in my studio, if every single person I ever came across said yes to me, I probably would have gone crazy. And I probably had a lot of clients I didn't like. So it's actually okay that I only had the 15 clients for years that loved me.
Yeah.
Loved me. And also because they loved me, they weren't lukewarm. They told everybody about me. And not everybody that they told wanted to come, but the ones that did were freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And so anyways.
Yeah, that's super true.
All right. Well, good luck on that resilience. Keep trying.
All right. Finally, let's talk about the beit action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with Megan Linney?
Yeah.
So she said something very... I was going to say layered, but it's not layered. It's just profound. She said self-care is the cure.
Yeah.
And she obviously she believes it so much that she's worked in the self-care industry for a long time and opened her own business in that world. But self-care doesn't always... I 100% think that self-care can include a spa or, a haircut or your nails or a facial or whatever. But it's also like the self-care is, taking a break, getting up from your computer, walking around the block, getting some vitamin D, from the sun. And it's when I think that there's this weird misconception. Thank you, Gaia, for participating. There's this weird misconception that, going out and, treating yourself is somehow frivolous or, that's money that you could have saved.
Or it has to be a reward of some kind.
Right. Or it has to be, or we associate it with you scored a goal in your game. Now we're going to go, I don't know, to the park. But
something. It's as an adult, it's oh, okay, well, you went to the gym every day you said you were, now you can go to the spa. No, you get to, self-care should absolutely be drinking water and sleep and all the things that we do for ourselves, brushing your teeth. And if we think about how they have shown that stress is the cause of 99% of illnesses, well, then the opposite of that is self-care,
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't actually know that.
Oh yeah, it's a whole thing.
99%.
Yeah, there's a whole thing that's like 99% of all illnesses and diseases are caused by stress, because stress raises your cortisol levels, which, I mean, I've seen the infomercials that also increases belly fat. But it keeps you from, so here's how it happens. So stress causes your stomach to not do digestion, which causes bloating and increased and discomfort. When you don't go through a digestive cycle, you are also starting to affect your sleep cycle. And if you're not sleeping, then you also then don't digest, and it becomes this vicious cycle. So if you're not digesting, then you're not absorbing nutrients. If you're not absorbing nutrients, you don't have the things that you need to walk around on this earth with the same abilities as anybody else does. And when you're not having that nutrition, you're constantly not getting those things, then of course other things can happen, and it just becomes this like vicious spiral, downward spiral. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
anyways, we can dive into that in another. I'll have a doctor on. Well, I've already had one. We've had Dr. Bender, but we'll bring her back to talk about stress.
Yeah. So, with self-care, Megan really believes that it is the cure of all the things, and I know that's something that I personally am not very good at. Is self-care, like I was talking about before, I'll sleep when I'm dead. That's terrible mentality.
Well, I don't think most, I don't know, maybe this is a Western thing, but I don't think most people are actually really good at self-care, because we have been told, like, push harder, no pain, no gain, keep going. Like, you'll sleep when you're dead.
The harder you work, the better it'll be.
There was this whole like reward, or like, what is it, like getting bonus points for like, I only slept 4 hours last night or whatever. And like, the reality is that
I'm so busy. Oh, me too. Like, that's like a badge of honor somehow.
Yes, exactly. And what I can say is I'm healthier today because of all the self-care that I do. And most of the issues that I was having with that caused my stomach issues back in 2013 was how much I was overworking, because I couldn't actually afford the move I made to LA. And so I had to like double down, and I was not taking care of myself anymore like I had before then. And so anyways, I do agree. Be it till you see it. Self-care is the cure. It was such a great, I mean, y'all re-listen to that little section of that, because it was like chills and like such a great reminder. You might need to like replay it for yourself when you're like debating whether or not you should do this other thing or take care of yourself first.
Yeah. Well, yes, agreed 100%. What was your be it action item taken away from the convo with Megan?
Well, she also mentioned stay curious, and I think that can be really hard if you like to know the answers to things. But that curiosity she mentioned, because I was like, oh yeah, curiosity killed the catch, like, and satisfaction brought it back. And I was like, I've never heard that before. And I just, I think it's just really, we've had other guests mention some version of curiosity in their be it action items. And it seems to be this like overarching theme. And I do think that it's not easy to be curious because again, we're told to find an answer. That's what we're like trained to do in school. But if you can play a curiosity game, if you could do like some things that I think for curiosity's sake are like, wouldn't it be cool if, or stupid idea time, or, like just like having fun. You know how children like find joy and wonder in the weirdest things, like try that if curiosity is difficult for you. But I really did love it. And I'm so grateful now. I now know that satisfaction brought it back.
Yeah, that was, I had never heard that before either. And I think that's great. And, the satisfaction brought it back. It makes me think about my obsession with Wikipedia. Because whenever I'm like, I don't know that word, or I don't know that thing, or what is this thing? I just like, boop, 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 and I get the satisfaction of getting a response.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Can we just take a moment for curiosity? I only have a moment, but so Brad and I listen to these podcasts. And it's from a whole media, and on several different podcasts, they're bringing up Machine Gun Kelly and Megan, what's her name? Fox. And, like I don't know how, but I like, somehow through osmosis, I keep up on some popular trends.
I've seen Transformers, so I know who Megan Fox is, but I don't have a clue who Machine Gun Kelly is.
And also, like, when I was listening to the podcast, 'cause we don't listen together, I wasn't thinking, oh, Brad's not going to understand this. Maybe I should tell him who these people are, right? So anyways, I'm sitting in the office, I'm working, and Brad goes, okay. I had to freaking look up who Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox is. And he literally starts reading out loud the story of how they got together, who Megan Fox was married to before, her love life, what we now know of it. And then he goes, okay, I'm satisfied. So curiosity does not have to be in business. It doesn't have to be physically, like, health related. It can 100%
I closed the loop.
Yeah, it can just be about closing the loop. So if you hear something on a podcast and it makes you curious, go look it up. You know, like, the worst case scenario is you lost 5 minutes to Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox's love life. But that, like, now it's kind of like, what was that Tiger show? Tiger King. Oh, yeah. It's like, we now know who Carol is, right? So we get the things. Like, sometimes you just have to go, what is people talking about? Anyways, I freaking love Megan. I'm so grateful that we know her. I'm grateful that she took time out of her busy life to do this podcast. And I really enjoyed the whole conversation. I hope you all did too.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so grateful you're here. Happy New Year. May this be just so much fun for you in a very curious year, a layered year. How are you going to use these tips in your life? Let us know by sending us a DM to the pod on Instagram and tag the Layer Lounge, tag Beit Pod, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Looking forward to it. Bye.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day. Be It Till You See It is a production of As the Crows Fly Media.
It's written, produced, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell. Our associate producer is Amanda Fraterelli.
Kevin Perez at Disenyo handles all of our audio editing.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to our designer Jairo Mandal for creating all of our visuals, which you can't see because this is a podcast, and our digital producer, Jay Perdoso, for editing all the video each week so you can.
And to Angelina Herrico for transcribing each of our episodes so you can find them on our website. And finally, to Meredith Crowell for keeping us all on point and on time.